welcome to part 4 of our coverage of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. In the previous session we made quite a lot of headway, getting up to 39%, and we'll just continue where we left off. At the end of the previous segment, we did find the entrance to what was the final area here in the windswept wastes, and explored for a bit, and also had a general idea of the shape of the main quest, which is going to take us to a couple of key locations, which are, I guess, the individual temples that are eventually going to unlock our access to the final area here. Now, we know a couple of passages to explore already. One is going to be in this area here in the Luma Pools, going to the left. One is going to be here in the snow segment, so this is the location that's guarded by the bear. And we needed to tickle the bear with something, and we now have the ability to use the feather. So that's almost certainly going to be our way forward. And then there's going to be a third area that's somewhere in the darkness, I think. Not here. But it may be related to the gate that we found in the construction area around the main town, where we know that the ability to see in the dark is one of the things we have to unlock as we progress. So, the best way forward at the moment is probably just to warp back to the main town, and we'll see what we can do from there. Yeah, probably just this location, so along the way we'll just keep in mind the fact that we now have the power to go through sand. Actually, that's rather important because we know that in the escape sequence, the stealth sequence rather, that's got us over to the woods in the first place, that there was some sand to burrow through that we didn't really check. These are the blank areas here, so it might be worthwhile to go back there first just to see if there's anything we can crack. And yeah. We can warp from any location, I think, but we'll just take the table anyway for simplicity. And may as well see if we can climb from this location. If not, we'll check the warp location immediately to its left. And we should be able to head back up, I think. Yep. Might be a bit of a big climb, but I think we can do it. Yeah, no, except this location is blocked. So, might have to find another way around, except we have that because we, once again, have the power to go through sand. Now, that fella's still there, stalking the place. Okay. This is new. Alright, just a few straggling collectibles here that we'll try to catch without losing too much health along the way. It looks like this is just a shortcut to get around the stealth sequence and skip it entirely now that we no longer have need of it. I do want to check that upper area to... Oh, whoa. Okay, a little bit too late on that. I thought I could escape. Never mind that. Alright, let's just redo the sequence quickly. I think we may have to reacquire the collectible we saw earlier. Yeah, but it looks like some of the safety platforms that we used for stealth earlier are no longer available. Unless I have misunderstood something about the layout above. So we'll just have to traverse our way around and see if anything else critical has changed. Yeah, because I remember during the stealth sequence that there was an upper location that we could climb into if we had the sand power, but currently I don't see how that is accessible. Could be that we need to go up through this location. This is just a well. Let's check the map for this. Yeah, is this location to the left that I'm interested in? And that will depend heavily on whether we are able to climb up here as we had earlier. And currently I don't see that as being the case, because I think some of the relevant platforms have since been destroyed. So we'll have to rethink that completely, I think. And there may be some other power we need to acquire before that becomes possible, simply because we are no longer able to make our way up to this ledge. So that's just something to keep in mind. Let's see if there's anything else to explore with sand over here. I don't think we had checked this lower location previously for some reason. I don't remember what was blocking our way. And hey, Zerd Guy. And yeah, Zerd Guy, to give you a sense of where I am, I have not done the 3 Wisps just yet, but I did get through the escape sequence, or rather the flying sequence in the Silent Woods, and explored my way up to this gate here and got stopped. I don't know if that spoils anything on the map for you, but perhaps we are, in fact, at a similar position. So yeah, really enjoying how quickly the movement options unlock. I have not gone into the dark area yet. I do not yet have the power to see through the dark, so I was going to check either the bear or the watermill next. But right now I'm just reacquiring my position, basically. Oh, whoops. Probably should have blown that with my leaf power. Anyway, let's get back up. You get the ability to see in the dark from the dark area. Well, okay. Yeah, I'll worry about that when I get there. I suppose that makes sense, given how these games usually work, in terms of the traversal easing up on you immediately, so. But we'll think about that when the time comes. I see why I hadn't seen a lot of this previously. It was because, of course, at the time we only had the power of flight, but I didn't have a lot of my standard movement abilities. So that's why I would not have seen some of this combat shrine. Looks like I had not done this one previously, had I? Okay. Well, let's take a look. Currently staying on Spirit Smash. We'll switch to some of the ranged abilities as needed. Could always use an extra slot, so. Okay. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, I hope you've been enjoying this as well, Zerd Guy. I've had a wonderful time with it, especially once a lot of the movement abilities opened up. I think this game really picks up quite quickly. It's kind of interesting how much of the late game ability set from the previous game is something that arrives pretty early in this one, in terms of things being available quickly. Okay, these guys I can usually outflank without too much trouble. Okay. Should probably deflect projectiles now that I think about it. Yep, the deflection is actually probably the best way to handle those. Great. Just countered him directly at range. Catching's pro back. And working out pretty well, all things considered. Really should have made more use of the deflection earlier in the game, in fact. Okay, these guys I should, in fact, use a ranged power. Even the feather, maybe. Let's try the feather. Not quite enough to work with here. Actually, I think the feather might in fact be the best way to do this. Don't know what that achievement is, but we'll look it up at some other point. Okay, let's get back to Spirit Smash. And deflect as much as possible. Okay. Yeah, countering this way when I don't have any ranged weapon equipped is definitely a playstyle that's available that I hadn't really played too much with earlier in the game. Very easy to become over-reliant on the ranged abilities and not use that aggressively enough as an attack. But having the extra slot will be great, given that we stuffed one of the slots with triple jump in the last session. So let's see what we can do with that now. Cash is always nice. Replenishment is always nice. And let's see. I think we're just going to go back to farming cash. You never know when that's going to come in handy, so. Pretty happy with how that one went, actually. Much smoother than any of the combat challenges earlier in the game. I believe only one combat challenge remains now, so we'll just keep an eye out for that as we explore. For the time being, though, probably just going to make our way over to a warp point. Now, we can warp from anywhere now, and perhaps we should, in fact, take advantage of that. This will be probably my first time actually using this ability in the game, but let's see if there's anything else I want to look at before I go back to town. Nothing immediately. This area was gated off, of course. Not accessible to me yet. Back to town is probably the best idea. Okay, here we go. We do have enough ore to engage in some construction projects. Let's see if there's anything else that has unlocked. Alright, a 10. Interesting. Finishing touches of decoration. Let's unlock this first, perhaps. We have been putting it off. Don't know if it's going to achieve that much, but nice to have some things restored. Okay. Ah, yes, this was where we planted a tree much earlier. I had completely missed the location for some reason. This had been available for some time, even before we entered the windswept wastes. Okay, that's a pretty useful buff. Save soul for the last seed. This guy has a home now. In the first hut near the entrance. Yeah, sure. We'll walk around and tick off some of the quests when we've done a few more of the side activities. Now, I do know that there was some sand that was somewhere around here. On top of all the shopping opportunities, I think we also have the ability to submit a new seed now. If I'm not correct. Oh, and glide. Let's not forget about the glide. Whoops. Come on, triple jump. Do your work. And okay, great. We could have just grappled now that I look at it, but sure, we'll do things this way. Luma pools, yep. We've been there. We've also been to the upper location there, but let's do some planting.
What?
Yes, that's new. And let's see if that achieves anything whatsoever. Well, now that we know where everything is being planted. The garden may actually be worth a look, so let's just head back down. Ah, here's the sand. There we go. Now having that available, let's head down here first. Life is always welcome. I don't recall if I had been down here. I think I have. Yes. And this, I believe, was the map. Okay. Let's see what he can do. Not sure we need this kind of assistance just yet. Maybe when we are doing the 100% mop-up, but we'll see in the remaining locations whether the discount really affects much of anything at all. I mean, I don't imagine that I have that many maps left to collect in the remaining areas of the game, so... this guy is weapons. Anything new? Yeah, we're definitely taking that. That would simplify things considerably. And everything else can probably wait for the time being. Don't really know what it is that triggers certain discoveries like that, because the water breath was certainly not available last time I checked this location. Probably just main quest progress. Okay. Have to remember from time to time that I am able to glide now. Don't know if the plants have done anything worthwhile. Yes, these are dark caves. I think these were also still inaccessible to me. So, we'll have to think about that. Yeah, too much darkness closing in here, I think. Can't really deal with it just yet. Don't know if the leaf blowing do anything here. Aha, this is new. And it's just money. Not the biggest deal. But we know there are a couple of locations that should be newly accessible using the burrow. Main objective at this point should be to get either to the wellspring or the bear. We are closer to the bear. I mean, fast travel can simplify all of that, but why would we ever want to rely on that? There we go. Let's talk to this guy, sure. The plot, it advances. Oh yes, this is just the records guy. A couple of things seem to have unlocked that I was not able to see previously. Oh yes, anything involving burrowing and gliding, of course, so I guess a number of these statistics are ability locked, and understandably so. Really, we are at so few life and energy cells. Now that I look at it, there's maybe not much of a surprise that we're still down around 40%, even with the time we've put into the game. Okay, this is a new area that's available. We'll take that quite gladly. And more grapple locations. Yeah, we can just grapple up to the bridge, and that's probably the approach. Prove your bravery. I feel like we'd done that already. We had not done this. Or this. Whoops, missed. Big miss. That's okay. Not hard to get back up to that location. And anything awaiting us up here? Doesn't look like it. Maybe we'll just take a look at that bit to the left here. Doesn't look like that's anything either. But we'll just keep that in mind and see what other shopping we can mop up. Have you heard of Great Boar? That's just a bear. And yeah, I think the idea is that we just tickle him with a feather and be done with it. Oh, I don't know why I decided to go for that. Yes, this is just a standard route out of town. It has been a while since I've been here, so let's see if there's anything else we can mop up for the time being. Probably not. I might have stopped for one more spot of ability shopping, but if nothing else awaits us, we'll just head up to the bear. Interesting. Sense nearby secrets? I like that. Whoops. Oh yeah, that's just a quest indicator, okay. Let's see what we should remove. Do I actually need this much energy? I feel like I can probably remove energy for the time being. Deflection hasn't really proven too useful so far. Let's just take off the deflector and use the secret hunter. Secret walls become semi-transparent. Yeah, that'll simplify some of the exploration. Although I think spotting locations has usually not been the issue for me. Things are typically quite visible. Is there anything else we should buy off of them. Let's check. Now he no longer has any friends. No more. Now we do have the cash to just buy up the rest. Almost think that might be the right idea here. But let's see what kind of budget we have for upgrades. Yeah, that's cash farming that we currently have. We do have this equipped, so let's just upgrade everything that we have currently equipped. Do want to save a bit of a cash reserve in case anything really interesting presents itself. So I'm not going to dump everything just yet. And yeah, it looks like this will probably pay for itself the earlier we pick it up. Currently using these two just to balance each other out, but we have the global 25% damage modifier now as well, so I might eventually trade out some of that. I think this is fine for the time being, though. And this is just going to cost me 1,000 to pick up the rest. Might as well just do it. Not immediately intending to trade some of this out, but once again, we'll just get it done that way and see how it feels from here. So currently, what do I have? I have flap. Yeah, let's just go back to Spirit Smash. Kind of liking that in some of the sturdier fights. Okay, grapple, point over there. Nothing too unfamiliar. And up we go. Let me just check my location first of all. I believe I am, yeah, still heading up towards the bear. Okay, let's go. Should be able to use the feather as a tickling tool at this point. Memory of Forest remembers this spring. Yeah, we can do it. I bet we can do it. Okay, fairly straightforward. It's going to be a big sneeze. And sure, we'll talk. I was going to try to brush him with the feather yet again, but maybe he's ready for a conversation. Too cold. Well, I suppose the idea is to warm the whole place. Anyway, he's going to sleep again, so we'll just wake him again. No? Alright, I guess not. Maybe just climb over him at this point, given that he's no longer obstructing the cave. Bar's reach. Yeah, it looks like there are some movable platforms on the upper level that we can eventually drop, or at least shove around all over the place. Okay. Pretty simple traversal here by the looks of it. Yeah, I guess these are just frozen. I see. I slip down if I try to hang on to them. So we'll just... And yeah, Zerd guy, I guess I'm spoiling this location for you. This is the first one I'm doing, so... No worries if you need to step out to avoid spoilers. Wonder what happens if I just drop it on him. Okay, not quite. I mean, it does open up, but we'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I kind of like the openness of being able to do these areas in a custom order and get pretty far. The previous game did tend to gate you off a bit when you attempted that, and I know that from experience because I don't really tend to follow prescribed orders very often. I often find that one of the main things I enjoy about the Metroid format is that you can run around and hit some dead ends and test where your current suite of powers can get you. But in general, I don't tend to follow instructions. Might as well actually try to attack this thing here. Oops, wrong attack. Okay. Okay. But at what cost? Anyway, ice is slippery, but all of the walls have been slippery in this game, so... not exactly unprecedented. This... looks like it should be interactable, but I guess we don't have the appropriate power to unfreeze it. Yeah, maybe I am supposed to generate some heat in order to crack that open. Same with the ice columns in general, in fact. We probably have the ability to melt this and eventually swim our way across, and we just haven't obtained that yet. It could just be the object of this area in general, just to unfreeze everything. I think we have seen what we need to in this location, but let's just check the right side, because I don't think I had. Nope, it has to be broken from the other side, so we'll just keep that in mind. And yeah, I can't grapple that until it is unfrozen. By the looks of it, triple jump will not quite get me enough height. Probably gate it off from that for the time being. You never know. Alright, sure. Let's head down. And flap. Yeah, okay. We'll do that because we can stoke the fire a bit. There we go. Oh, and then we can generate projectiles with it. Great, and generating projectiles allows us to melt this over here. I get it. Okay, no. Right idea, wrong arc. There we go. Okay, we've lit that up. Don't know what it gets me just yet. Whoops. Didn't expect that guy to suddenly come alive. And I don't seem to be able to obtain that just yet. Okay. Kind of want to see what else I can do here. Oh, so you can blow it up. Okay. So you can change the temperature of objects, it seems. Yeah, I get it. You can melt everything, but then you can freeze it again by blowing out the fire. Oops. I'd better heal up. Okay, don't really know what that achieves yet, apart from bringing this guy to life briefly. However, I do see that looks like that location there is one of those trap plants that has been awoken. So we'll see what we can do. I haven't tried hitting one of these guys yet. Doesn't seem to do much. However, I should be able to use this to get back upstairs. Don't know if I can get up to that collectible from here. I think I may just have to rethink that later. That is how to progress, so given that I've lit that up, have I melted anything successfully by firing up that engine? That's the important thing here. Not convinced yet that I have. Oh, that's no longer frozen. That's important. Okay. And it goes up. Right. Now it goes up, but we do have a limited amount of time to interact with it, so... Up. Lots of traps all over the place here. Just need to get on and immediately off. Oh, whoops. Once again, not really watching where we're going, but that will crack open the door. I don't know if it's going to be on a timer, though. Nope, it is permanent. Heal up. And we'll just glide our way down. That's probably simplest. Okay. Fairly simple there. Once again, that is frozen. And, yep, that's an upper chamber we can't access, but here's the map maker. Well met, wintry wanderer. Anyway, we have a discount, so let's take advantage. A fairly vast area in its own right. Okay, now we know. Looks like we do have shards to work with here to open that gate to the right. This area to the left was blocked by the frozen waterfall earlier, and so we do need to thaw that eventually. And more spirit gates over here. Breakable location here, that's worth looking at. Let's get up to the save point first, perhaps. And only, however, once we have warmed up this area as well. So let's go down. Sand. Sand is kind of important. You're not necessarily expected to have sand yet at this point in the game. Okay. whoops. Didn't expect to just ram into him like that. Bad idea. Let's go back down and fight him. In fact, we can just smack him with some fire. Perhaps. Flank him like that, perhaps. He's pretty sturdy, actually. Whoa, very sturdy. Let's maybe switch off to something a little bit better for these purposes. There we go. Much better. Okay. All that seems to be functioning as intended. Don't know if I want to light up anything else with this guy. Yeah, I don't know what we would be aiming for there. Ah yes, this. I think, unless there's another cauldron in this area that I'm able to unlock access to. But if we can get that going, we're in good shape. Doesn't seem like it's going to go nearly far enough though, so I currently doubt that's the solution. I do not, however, see an alternative just yet. This looks like it's switch activated down low. Okay, that's rather important. That doesn't seem available just yet. Is triple jump going to get me what I want here? No, that is not yet. Subject to gripping. Whoa, this guy does block collision when it comes to trying to dash around him, so let's not do that. Let's in fact fight him the way we have been doing all along. Okay, got him. Now let's see how we can open that up. Looks like the idea should be, in fact, to juggle the projectile all the way over. Seemed a bit implausible, but I guess that's the way. Yeah, we just juggle it up, I guess. There we go. Luckily, it was not too demanding when it came to accuracy. Now can this be gripped? Not sure it can. Still seems like it looks the same as it did before, so... That's okay, we've got a couple of other usable items all over the place now, so... Alright, let's get down first of all. Yep, just bouncing off of him, flanking him with the hammer. Seems to be a really consistent method, so I'm keeping that strategy. Probably just should have that as my main melee option at this point, given that I'm hardly even using the sword. Anyway, this does open up a range of movement options. Going back to this location. Yeah. It's going to take me up. And... okay, that'll work. This looks breakable. Let's do something about that. There we go. Nope. I was hoping I would have enough time to grab this projectile. Whoops. Let's get out of here and heal. There we are. And yeah, it looks like we may be able to melt this eventually. We want access to the fountain on the right side. Or maybe we can just shatter it, just with impact. Does it shatter with impact? No. By the looks of it, we do need to give it a melt. We can try. I don't think I've actually gotten within range. Something tells me that I will want heat from elsewhere to be redirected to here. So. Let's just try this until... yeah, let's just go up, in fact. Whoops. Have to really rethink how we do things like the wall jumps. Nope. It's not quite going to be like that. Well, let's see. Yeah, we can climb up briefly on these. So it's just a matter of gaining enough height without taking damage. Okay. Floating rocks everywhere. That looks awfully suspicious. I wonder if I can just blow these guys with the fan. Or with the feather, rather. If not, I will go back to my favored strategy of attempting to hammer them everywhere. Let's heal up. Okay, need a bit more room to heal up. Bit more room to heal up. Starting to run a little bit low on energy for this kind of maneuver, but there we go. Finally giving him a good stomping. Okay, sand, that's useful. Whoops. Probably need to burrow through the sand to project upwards to the next area. Nope. To really come at it from below, I think. Heal up first. Probably the best idea. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Pretty easy to continue past that point at least. Okay. Not much to do back here, but boost as far as possible. It looks like there was a location to the top left there that looked awfully like a secret. Don't know if we can in fact get there just yet. Whoops, nope. Took a bit too much punishment. Yeah, very easy to just knock out my own platform. Touching it a bit too close. Let's heal up. Nope. Should probably use the glide ability a bit better, specifically to prevent nuisances like that from happening. Nope. There we go. Probably can just float across here. Here we go. And deal bonus damage when over half-life. Kind of like that. I feel like we're over half-life most of the time, but we'll keep that in mind for combat, because damage output is maybe not my actual problem at the moment. So yeah, it looks like going over to the right side is the main thing I need to worry about currently. Here we are. Oh, that's a new development.
Oh yeah.
Almost majestic. Not quite.
Oh, yo don nanush. Jinshelo tushatam. Gorhuran atananin.
Yes, that shriek is everywhere. Constantly getting in our way. Looks like it's going to be another melting location here. Here we go. Probably more juggling of fire if we figure out where the fire is going to be coming from. Looks like this is going to be one of the Keystone Collection challenges. Okay. Yes. Health is probably important right now. Okay, fairly simple. And then keystone from using the projectile. Oh, not quite. There we go. Location to the left here, whoops. Yeah, it looks like we'll probably have to go around somehow. Let's see how everything changes when we stoke the flames. Ah, yes, okay. That's going to give me something to work with. Whoops. Keep forgetting I can take damage from that. Probably could have done it that way. Looks like we have another projectile from upstairs to work with. Ah, yes, okay. The flame will ultimately need to be drawn down here, so we just follow it down and then deflect. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Okay. Bit of health replenishment every time we come up here is certainly going to be very useful. Nope. Missed. Yeah, I do need to come down here immediately. Oh, let's fight another one of these, perhaps. Just to get rid of him. Since he did respawn after a set time interval by the looks of it. There we go. Yeah, I probably want to drop straight down from the fire and have plenty of time to deflect it accurately. We'll get all this melted up. No, have to go straight down. Otherwise we cannot see where we are aiming. Energy would be nice, just to have some health replenishment. There we go. And we'll just wander on back upstairs. Once again. Okay, there we go. Not quite so generous on a range as on the previous one. Let's try this again. Work on that accuracy. Yeah, I need to account for that falling arc there. I keep thinking that the projectile is going to go in a straight line, and that's almost never the case. Energy is helpful. And there we are. All better. All warmer. Okay. And that'll be a very dynamic collection point there. We are missing one last shard by the looks of it, but we've melted the water now, and so between that and the ability to have underwater breathing, I think we are in fairly decent shape. Apart from not being able to get past these guys. Okay, so we do need to go around where the water has thawed and just swim carefully. As we also look for the keystone, which I believe is just going to be past at this point. No, that's just a gate. So, still missing one. I do think I know where that is. Now that we've also unlocked some grappling attachment points and the ability to cross the waterfall at all, really. Which allows me to go for that location over to the right. Yeah, no longer getting at wall cling on the water, but we do have some other benefits. And that'll just allow me to drop down. Let's grab some energy while we're at it, just to get that health conversion. Okay, going well so far. This definitely looks breakable somehow. Not yet, though. Meltable, maybe? Oh, that's something up there. That was also something. Yeah, it looks like an ability collectible from the tree, but let's investigate the frozen hut before proceeding. Okay. How much we can do from this side? Looks like we need to go around somehow. Don't know if we have the ability to do so at the moment, or if it requires some other thoughts. Some way to drop in the other side, perhaps. We'll have to think about that. Well, this is going to be some kind of major unlock. Just scan the area first. Oh, almost certainly just the ability to melt ice by the looks of it. What have we got? Light burst. Explosives, okay. Great, we'll do it. We'll do it. Spirit Smash, Light Burst. Probably upgradable too. Who knows? Anyway, we can melt anything now. Let's head over to that house. Let's see if anything here will be susceptible. Light torches, okay. Ah, like this guy here. I wonder if we can deflect these projectiles that I send out myself. Oh, interesting, that I can kind of guide them. Somewhat. Lighting the torches just opens the gate. So it still doesn't work as an attachment point, but it does now respond to whatever it is we're trying to do with it, so let's... Yes, we can use bash on them. Now we have to charge them first, okay. Oh, I see, because then we can point them up to a certain location. And then we can use our own projectile as it falls. Yes, okay. That naturally leads me to wonder about the branch. That is the upper location there. I think there are definitely some possibilities to consider. Some pretty huge mobility options here now. But we'll probably have to drift over there from a greater height. So I do like that we can see a trace of where it's supposed to be going. That is the right idea. We just need to gain a little bit more height before we do any of that. I think it's absolutely the right idea. There we go. And we can probably keep going, by the looks of it. Nope, that's not a traversable platform. And now we are out of energy, which is all kinds of bad news. But if we look at the map, I think there's probably quite a lot more we can do at this location. In the top corners. We can worry about that with the 100% mop-up, though, when we eventually get around to doing that. So, for the time being, I think it'll be sufficient to grab some energy. Yeah, getting more back than what we've put in, so that is worth it doing. Okay, so now we just have the power of fire to use as we will. Kind of want to just whack this guy with it. Can't use it in the water though, because we normally can't use abilities in water. Not really that much damage, unfortunately, off this guy. But we have a very decent suite of abilities at this point when it comes to reaching locations like this one, which, whoa, this guy seems to be very eager to fight us. Let's just slap him down and blow that up. Yeah, I love the energy burst. Very helpful. That looks like it's going to be activated by a switch. Probably involving the lighting of torches, which we had seen earlier. Well, this is going to be partly a test of visual memory as we see what it was we were doing here. Yeah. Okay. That's helpful. Now, had we been to the top left, I don't seem to recall. But we can... Let's see, this is a gate. If we get over here and move on up, that seems to be the natural way to progress through this area. We can, of course, go back and mop up some collectibles first, while we are at it. Yeah, a bit of a risk there in terms of seeing what it is I could see within camera range, but I wonder if I could get within the middle of that trunk. It certainly didn't seem so. I believe we had in here. We'll just do a bit of a check for diligence. Yeah, that's just a switch we activated much earlier. I do remember gliding out. Okay. Back here we go. And yeah, we now have the ability to break through the ice. Probably have a bit of a swim. And also burn that up really quickly. 2 shots will do the trick. It's very energy intensive, that's all. I wonder if I could light this thing. No. That's going to be helpful because we'll light it up this way, and that's going to pretty much allow us to mop up this whole location here. Is there anything for us down here? Does not look like it. Whoops. Nope. Taking a bit too much punishment there. Okay, we'll just redo this segment. Yeah, it's that charge shot that does a bit of extra damage. And we'll just light this up. And back down we go. There we go, triple jump saves today. As it always does. Oops. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything explorable down here. Doesn't look like it. Shooting that location should give us 2 orbs back. That would be helpful. Wonder if I can warm the bear. What happens if I try to warm the bear? Nope, you can't actually shoot him, I don't think. Game does not let you. Anyway. Yeah, there was a torch I could light earlier. I don't quite recall where that was situated, but that's probably our best way forward at this point. This was the breakable location. Yeah, probably down. Okay. That is sand location. No, it's not. That's just decorative. Ah, here's the torch. That's what's gated. Okay, that opens up. Now we can sail up, but maybe once we had a chance to grab a quick collectible down there first. And up we go. Okay, this is perhaps important. Dreams of soup. Yeah, we know that gusts can blow out the fire. I don't know if doing so inconsiderately will maybe cause him all kinds of grief. Let's maybe put the fire back on before he freezes up completely. Yeah. No, actually, that doesn't quite work. Alright. I guess we just put out his fire until we have some other way of working with him. And yeah, we'll just use the bash ability we saw earlier then. Okay. Pretty fluid there. Does seem like we'll need to use the light burst and bash a couple of times here. And there we go. Nice trajectory there. We'll just charge it up for the torch. That's going to do something. Oh, that would have been useful to know much earlier. I see, it's just a counterweight for the door, which opens up this location. Great. Very frequent save points over here, actually. Wasn't quite expecting that. Is this new material? Looks like it might be. Looks roughly familiar. Right. Yeah, that we had seen much earlier. Okay, but we know how to unlock a way through. Yeah. Okay. Now I understand. Yeah, that just looped around to the save point we had unlocked earlier, creating a shortcut over to our next avenue of progress, which will be on the right side. Nope. Bad idea. Bad idea. Whoop. Well, that was a catch. Oops. No friendly fire from this, at least. Okay. Have to be somewhat accurate about this. Back down we go. Oops. Okay, that's fine. Pretty straightforward in this area, actually. A big snowball over there to the right. That's going to be something. Okay, we really do need to get rid of this guy. Okay. That does it. So let's melt. And that's going to bring down the whole thing. Yep, get out of the way. That's going to be sand rather than snow. Maybe it is snow, but we can still use the burrow ability to interact with it accordingly. Okay. And up we go. Looks like it's going to be more burst-related traversal. Whoops. Wrong button. Luckily we have energy replenishment in locations like this that do require that ability. Yeah. Oh. I was hoping to use the bash ability here to get up to that location. Nope. Let's heal up. Nope, not quite. Oh. Not actually letting me grip that. Nope, not letting me grip that either. Yeah, and I guess there's a certain amount of time that a projectile has to be alive before you are allowed to grab onto it. I can't quite see. Oh, no, but because it has to be charged. Yes, that's right. It's only the charged shots that can be gripped. Which does make certain maneuvers a little more difficult when you can't just stay camped in one location. So, yeah, only the charged shots. Nope. Seems like there was a bit of input error on my part once again. Nope. Not really pointing in the right direction. Okay, up we go. Probably should just go from the right side instead. I know. Not very good at aiming this thing, unfortunately. And once again, taking a lot of punishment. It's only a little spot of cash there, but I really do feel like I must get all of the collectibles. Oh. Oh wow, instant kill on that. I mean, those were very sharp spikes. Should maybe not be too shocked at the instant kill accordingly. Anyway, everything here actually hits really hard. So. Let's just get back up there. Actually really difficult to get the inputs down correctly. Nope, once again. I think it's just aiming with the analog stick in general that I find very difficult. Nope, whoa, got snipped on the side. That was uncommon. There's probably an easier way to do this that I'm just missing, but oops. Nope. Once again. Can't quite get the timing. There we go. Now we need to survive long enough to actually enjoy the fruits of our labor. Can I go down? Yes, I can. I did want to go up at some point, but probably best if I heal up just to get everything working the way I would like. Fracture. Interesting. Might be good, actually. Maybe not for single target damage, but for the purposes of having a point that can be gripped, maybe that'll be helpful. Also, I guess one thing we can do here is actually put out the flame. Putting out the flame would allow everything to freeze over. That would solve a bunch of problems, actually. A few things that were previously difficult to access are perhaps easier over a frozen surface. Probably should have thought of that to begin with for that collectible location earlier. This looks like it's powered by a lever. We'll probably just get the ignition back on. Oops. Alright, let's melt this once more to see what else we're potentially missing here. Yeah, looks like the idea is that it's easier to get upstairs if you freeze. everything, so you don't need to time your way around the snapping plants, or whatever they are. So yeah, let's freeze it up. Check the left side in the meantime, just for diligence. But I do believe that's the idea. Except we still haven't solved the problem of the switch that gets us up to that location, so maybe that's not correct just yet. Seems like that is the major interaction that is available, though, so why don't we traverse this again in its frozen state and see if its frozen state is anything more accessible rather than less. And I think it should. Yeah, everything to the right over here. Yes, that's the idea. Okay. I think we have it. This should open the gate. Can't really imagine it affecting anything else in the immediate term. And it does indeed open the gate, so let's move our way on up. And we'll need to thaw everything eventually, I'm sure, but we'll deal with that. Okay, these guys I know how to deal with. One at a time, anyway. Oh, wow. Didn't expect those obstacles. Top. That does complicate things slightly. There we go. Now, does the fight continue? Yes, it does. With these guys. Looks like it's just a general combat challenge, in fact. Let's see if we can just reflect projectiles as much as we can. Whoops. I'd better heal up. There we go. Stomp does a pretty good job of peeling the shells off. Or anything with shells. Two of those at once? Yeah, I can deal with it. The hammer really is the key to these guys. Wouldn't want to approach them another way, really. Actually, very simple to do it that way. I am, of course, going to drop down below to see if there's anything we can access on the lower level. Of course, we're going to check this location first, just in case. Looks like that is the beginning of a speed challenge, so we'll have to keep that in mind for later. Let's... yeah. Let's see what we can do here. Don't know if that's a breakable ice pillar. We'll have to check that. No. Okay. Pretty big flying location all over, in fact. Oh, that's new. That's more fire and also somebody to talk to. Okay, so this guy knows what's going on. Somebody wanted food earlier. That's going to be part of a trading quest then. So how do I deliver the soup? Okay, I have to gather supplies for the soup. Oddly reminiscent of Snow Peak in Twilight Princess. The Snow Peak ruins. Looks like there is something on the lower level. Yeah, of course I'm going to check that. This can be lit up if you want to go down to the lower level. Currently, just a lot of ice fishing going on. Sure, let's fire away. Okay, that'll unlock access to this. Oh, I like that. Melee damage into energy. Yes, definitely. Always use a bit of replenishment. Might even be better than this, in fact, although... We'll see. We're using the energy bank mostly out of combat right now for recovering from platforming damage. But anyway, that's a good one to have available if we want it for combat challenges later, where maintaining the energy bank is going to be a vital consideration. Let's see if anything has changed up here. Might as well check this location. And just run around generally, really. Yes, let's do this. Looks like we may have unlocked an alternate passageway, in fact. Yeah, of course I may pass. Who do you think I am? And where do you think I am? Ah, okay, so this unlocks the passage from the town. Very efficient. Looks like the main task to accomplish at this point then is to unlock that spirit gate. But ultimately it's the major ascent here that is going to be the path we're looking for, in order to clear out this area and collect one of the 3 wisps that we've been hearing so much about. Sure, let's plant a seed. Yep, let's... Okay. Doing pretty well with that, actually. That unlocks this passage, so... Looks like that's the major accomplishment here. Although, interestingly enough, we've already collected what there is to see up there, just from having had the triple jump previously. So... nothing here I haven't seen before, at least. Anyway, we have a passage to town, which now brings me to this cavern. Alright. Yeah, probably just need to burst our way back up. Anyway, here we can fly, but let's replenish health before we do anything too adventurous. Yeah, it looks like the flight segment is probably the major thing to do at this point. Other than the Keystone Collection, which... Yes, we should consult the map and head over to the left after we've collected this shard here. Looks like it's just one big flying minigame. To see how well we can parachute our way through all of these lovely caverns. Yeah, do want to lure that guy down before we pop that. Same with this guy. And this guy. Whoops. A little bit too much damage. Should be one more shard here. We have somehow missed. Lower location, yes. Got it. Okay, pretty simple. Now we just head over to the door if we can find it. Should be somewhere on the right. Here we are. And what is this? Sure, we'll activate. Oh, interesting. Run a spirit trial. I'm not sure I see what the endpoint location is going to be. Maybe something we have not discovered just yet, unless... Well, it looks like this is the endpoint, and so there must be some kind of collection, perhaps. Timed collection? Yes, indeed, we have to. It's all of those points. Quickly. Okay. Looks like it's going to be mostly a routing problem. And I cannot see the map when I'm doing this. I can, however, see the ghost. Okay. Not taking the same loop as the ghost, but should be able to get back soon. Okay. Oh no. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that you have to plug everything in and that the clock keeps running when you do so. Okay, that's not too hard. It can be done now that we know what's going on. Yep, just... nope. Wrong location. Let's restart. Okay. Shouldn't be too hard as long as we don't lose our way too much. Slightly ahead of the ghost, actually. We did lose our way. Slightly. I do like going the upper route because it allows you to do a fast drop. Yeah, it took too much damage there. It's going to probably make all the difference. Once again, very similar time to what we had before. Had about 45 seconds entirely from the damage penalties and perhaps one wrong turn early on Okay. Yeah, too much damage all over. Have to be fairly accurate. Just straight up dying to damage that time. Okay. Well, once you know where to go, it's not too bad. A lot of it is just going to be damage mitigation and buying enough time to get back to the gate at the very end. Oh wow, just getting knocked out in this last segment here, actually, after we had collected everything already. Oh no. Didn't expect to cling on to the geometry there. Yeah. Almost. It's actually a little bit worse. Okay, we were okay for collection phase. It was just a way back that was slightly disastrous. Nope, just missed. Let's just drop out. Okay, there's a quick retry button that's rather important for anybody truly pushing records as they attempt these speed demons here with the parachute. The feather, I should say. Okay, gonna do a fast drop here and there. Now, as long as we don't get deflected by too much damage, I am ahead of pace. Okay. Just barely ahead of par. Barely ahead. Seems like we've been within about a second of par pretty much every time we've cleared one of the spirit trials. Which mostly tells you that the ghost times are fairly well tuned, at least for the level of ability we're bringing into this, so. With that out of the way, I think the main task that awaits us is just sailing all the way up. Notice this secret location here that I think we had failed to pop, but we'll worry about some of that at a later point. For now, it's just a matter of time survival through some of the obstacles here. Now, once again, actually kind of oddly reminiscent of Rayman Legends in some ways. Although I'm probably mostly thinking of segments that involve parachuting down using the helicopter ability in that game. It has been some time, so memory plays tricks on us. Okay. Kind of neat that we can just do the wall climb up here without messing with that guy too much. Probably for the best, given how hard he hits. This looks like it's going to be a burst location. And yep. Now, can I just hit that guy with a burst? Yes. Very energy intensive, but we can do it. And hey, Merlin, yes, we are. Just continued directly from yesterday. We've only really seen this snowy area today. Haven't done much else besides that. But we're almost at what should be the dungeon gate at the end of this area, so. But yeah, still lots to do in this game, though. I mean, we have a lot of collectibles that we've been missing, so the percentage completion is not that high, but it feels like we are definitely deep into the second half at this point, so after seeing the transformation of the main quest yesterday. Okay, this is a bit of a cinematic segment where you are not allowed to run right, you are just supposed to press on. Let's see what's going on with this tree. Oh, maybe it isn't a dungeon gate, we just collect one of the wisps. And that's going to be 1 out of 3. Okay, fairly simple then. Unless there is any kind of big escape sequence from Shriek, which looks like it actually is going to be the case. Alright, let's get out of here. Once again. Yeah, we've got to run. Where to? Avalanche going that way. Yeah, let's maybe do that a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Actually, I remember to use the glide ability from time to time. And the grapple. Oh, took a sizable chunk of damage there. Yeah, I should have used the sand ability there. But there are a lot of things I could be doing a lot better. Oh, got trapped. Yeah, got trapped. Should have gone down and around. Okay, that's okay. I generally understand what we need to be doing better. Kind of like how, at this point, because the player may or may not have the ability to burrow through sand, there are a few optional locations to make your own life easier if you do have that available. Let's... Oh. Yeah, sometimes these can be a little bit trial and error, but we have much better visibility of what's going on than in the escape sequences in the first game, which I've been very pleased with so far. Okay. Yep. There we go. There we go. Okay, just have to dodge that guy. And out we go. And yeah, Merlin. The way I would describe both of the Ori games is that they feel like they were designed by people whose favorite part of Super Metroid is the Mother Brain escape, or just the timed escape sequences in general. And the first game tried that all over the place, and sometimes it would work, and sometimes it was a little bit questionable. But here, in this one, I've been extremely satisfied with the escapes so far. In terms of the platforming feeling fair and very visible. So there are significant sections of the platforming that can be done blindly, just from being able to see what's happening. Anyway, let's find out more about Shriek. Poor Shriek. I guess ultimately we'll be defeating Shriek by the end of the game, but maybe we'll get a hatchling to carry over to the third game if they ever make one. Really interesting creature design, though. Absolutely terrifying thing now that it's grown up. And it's going to meet its friends, the owls, before it decides to utterly terrorize that species later in life. See, they're all getting along. I don't see why it's so hard now that Shriek is totally overgrown. Oh, I see. Okay. That's why. And so Shriek has been treated as a flightless mutant outcast. Poor thing. Yeah, maybe not the happiest environment to grow up in. Well, that is one segment down. Pretty substantial burst to our life and energy, actually. Now is the winter of our discontent. Okay, so we have, I believe, the water zone and a dark zone. And yeah, Merlin, is very true that there's a lot of context to all this, in spite of how most of the storytelling does happen through your exposure to the environment. Most of it happens just from your exploration. But there is quite a lot here that I guess becomes very established from, you know, just the little story moments that you get at the end of the escapes. Considering how much of the storytelling is done through pure animation. I mean, they thought this through very thoroughly, I think, in terms of just a backstory behind the entire environment and how this world and its inhabitants are integrated. Helped, of course, by the fact that the creature designs are all just visually very stunning. Now, what was I looking at? Ah, yes, these locations here seem unexplored. At least I think they were. I'll check them briefly, but otherwise I will probably be headed over to one of the places we know we haven't gone yet, which is Luma Pools. But we'll do that next, after I've had a decent look at whether anything needs to be mopped up back here. Ah yes, ice location. This was actually available to me previously using this cauldron, so we'll do it the easy way though. Just bust this thing open. This we had checked, okay. Feels like there was another ice location that I had not looked at. No, we had looked at that. Okay, back we go. In that case. Yeah. Toss that. Toss that. And let's find some warmth. Might as well. Grab some energy while we're at it. Couple orbs worth. Okay, see if the camera catches up. Yeah, sometimes we do go a bit fast for that. But Luma Pools is going to be our next destination. There was, of course, the lower route to approach it down here. Right, because of the sand trap and everything. Which does allow us to circle around. I do want to try to look at this location first, just to see what we can collect. But we'll see what happens. Really unlocked quite a few movement abilities. Oh, actually, no. I know how to get that, I think. Yeah, let's just see why it was I missed that earlier. It seems kind of strange that I wouldn't have seen it. However, having the water breathing power, which we unlocked earlier in this session, is going to make everything here just a lot more relaxed in terms of pacing. No need to rush our way through for the sake of maintaining breath. Oh, whoops, wrong way. Okay, bad idea. Now, where was I? Yep, still have to go left. And there should be something in the top location. Top left. Yes. Not sure, we'll just nuke that guy. Now, what did I miss here? Does seem like there was something. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yep, I see it. Okay, that's collected. And let's see what else we may be missing. I think the best idea at this point is just to warp on ahead to this location, in fact, because once we are out of the water, because that will allow us to check the sand location that we had thought about much earlier. So let's just head down. And we'll see what that makes available. And yeah, let's just get a bit of restoration in the meantime. I hadn't seen too many locations that were accessible with the light burst power that we had just obtained in terms of some of the optional exploration, but it could be that we were just comparatively blind to some of the possibilities. And so we'll just traverse the map further until those options present themselves. And yeah. And then after that, we'll be thinking about what to do with the dark location, which I haven't thought too hard about just yet. Okay. Whoops. I think this is the part where... Oh, we just skipped right over the sand segment I was wondering about, so... Down we go, and let's have a bit of a dig. Here we are, finally. Whoops. Okay, that's not what I expected. Yeah, thought it would be in the water for a bit longer. That's okay. That's just going to be ore for construction. Still lots of that to go around. And I think that's probably all we want to do here. Although we can check the sand from that fight much earlier in the game. Still don't know what to do with this location here, which was the proximity-based challenge. Because that was some kind of puzzle. And still wasn't clear what we would do with that. This location I think we had also not yet unlocked. Okay, let's just head on down. Oh, making a big mess out of this traversal here. Yeah, nothing much to see here, but I think we actually do have the ability to head on up if we really wanted. There we go. Light that flare. And up we go. Might as well do that as a proof of concept. I mean, fast travel is available, but why would we? Whoops. Also, how come we hadn't moved this? Oh yes, we had. We've already collected what we had to in that location. Anyway, we're doing the full loop here partly to catch that one collectible that was under the current here. Okay, pretty good projectile right there when it comes to permitting us to head all the way up. Interestingly enough, we do have to let some of the bubbles through. And then go around. Tap this. You know what? We don't even need that anymore because we have the water breathing power now. So that's totally immaterial. Oops. No, 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 no. Oh, I wanted to get in that lower location and we failed that once again, unfortunately. Yeah, that's okay. We'll eventually go back for that. Worth a try. Seems like that's one of those collectibles that's going to take a couple of runs anyhow in order to get accurately. You really do need to crank your way downwards as soon as you come out on that current. Anyhow, the glide power with the feather is the main thing that we have made newly available for purposes of getting across this divide, which we hadn't been able to traverse previously. I'm talking about the area to the left of the water wheel. Yeah, we just need to have a good long glide. Whoops, nope, too low. We'll just take off from a slightly higher location. And that should perhaps give us what we are looking for. Okay. Plenty of opportunity to ascend, of course, given how much mobility we have now. And it's going to give you a clue about gliding. Not that we need it. But this is going to be new material in this location here. So let's see what awaits us in this zone. The strength of the forest. Okay. We can do it. Here in the Luma Pool is really quite pretty. I mean, the whole game is pretty, but... Okay, looks like it's going to be the same kind of mechanic as in the swamps earlier, except the bubbles go quite a bit higher. Ah, okay, grapple point. That's going to be rather important. Can I move those? No. I can't see where the next grapple point is going to be on camera, so I think we better continue. Quolok, okay, our friend a toad is somewhere here. Oh, whoops, didn't see that. That's one thing these games do from time to time that is maybe a little bit irritating. Lots of instant kills like that. This game is not nearly as rough about these as the original. Now, I was trying to burst through there. Ah, yes, no, because it's the B button that I'm looking for. Nope. Let's let that down first. You would think that after all those swamp segments in Mario Maker that we would be used to stuff like this by now. Nope. No. Trying to bait that forward, and that's not going to beat away. I wonder if I even have currently the ability to get through that. Because it seems like I should be bursting through some kind of object, maybe. But it's very well camouflaged. Oh, there might be some kind of slow time ability, actually. I don't remember what it was in the first game that allowed you to get through those. I think it might have been a slow time ability. Anyway. That guy's going to be really crabby. Current moving outwards. Looks like that's going to be a one-way gate. But yeah, we'll figure out how to get through some of this. Okay, what can we do with this area here? Looks like there's quite a lot we can do, actually, if I can get up to that location, but the way to do that would almost certainly be through bouncing on bubbles. Okay. Can I get him in a position? No, he just died on me, so never mind that. We can, of course, always use the burst ability to try to create a grappling point. Well, that's helpful. And up we go. Can I burst off this guy? Whoa, bad idea. The answer is yes, but not if you miss like that. Looks like this is something unlockable. And ultimately we should move towards finding some way to release that from its trap. Yeah, I don't think we'll be allowed to do this unless we just swim beside the current. Okay, there is a bit of a margin that allows us to traverse. Not much of one. Probably best to get some health back in order before we try anything audacious like that. Nope. Not quite. Can't quite cross. Yeah, once again, that might just be gated off by some ability we don't have yet. Anyway. Up we go. And yeah, I think we can go quite a ways further up. Nope. Oh, you can bump those from the side. That's interesting. That I did not know. And yeah, some bubble coming up the left side here would have been very useful. Alright, let's get over to the right side wall. That might give us a bit more visibility when it comes to what we're trying to do here. We'll just get a high bounce off the next bubble as it comes in. There we go. We can keep doing that. Nope. Not if we miss, of course. Okay, that works too. Now, will we get something to work with here? Yes, we will. Open sesame. Yep, looks like the location immediately below us right now should be unlocked by using another bubble that becomes available, but we already unlocked that our own way, so... Yeah, we already had a bit of a shortcut over to that location. Whoops. Taking a lot of punishment there. Nope. Trying to get around. Okay. Not really getting any energy replenishment there, which we do kind of need in order to get up to the next location, so we'll just figure out how to do that. That's a deflection location for sure. So we need somebody to shoot me. Somebody needs to shoot me, okay. Easy. Interesting that it still gives you tutorials for that, given that we had done that interaction so many times much earlier in the game. Possibly we can crack the left side as well, but... Now why would we want to use flap? Let's think about that. What could we possibly interact with here with flap? Oh, moving the balloon, probably. Moving the bubble, rather. Yeah, interesting. Interesting, okay. Alright, hadn't considered that. Yeah, that's not going to solve the problem problem, though. I think I just need to beat that there. Nope. Actually, if I have energy, I don't need to fuss with this. If I have some energy remaining, I can just shortcut that with the bash power. So, let's see if I can scrounge that up somehow. At this point, I'm not sure how. I need some kind of... Ah, here we go. Energy point. Heal up with 1 point. And then we can just... Whoops. Burst. Whoops. It doesn't quite solve our problem permanently, though, because now we have a depleted energy pool once again. And we need bubbles to head up to this segment. Okay. Fine. We did have an energy point here, at least. So that partly solves the problem. I guess we didn't figure out what the solution would have been had we not unlocked that ability first. Okay, so feathers do have a way of interacting with, well, everything else that's in this area. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Because we are perhaps underusing the feather. Interesting, this looks like a save point if we find some way to drain the water. That's another deflection point over there. Interesting. That we have some gates over here that are available. Yeah, it does look like we need to go rather quickly here. Okay, success. Alright, so that gives us a bit of drainage, which allows me to access this replenishment location here. Wonder if my own standard ability is able to break this. I doubt it. I feel like purple ones can only be done through enemy deflection, and I am correct. So we'll need to guide some kind of enemy projectile all the way over. Hey, here's the map guy. On the wrong side, though. So... looks like it busts through. Nope, didn't think so. Okay, down we go, since we did, after all, unlock this location. Ah, yeah, this is what we can use for deflection. Let's guide this all the way over. And did I break it? Yes, I did. Great. Okay. Feels like something important just happened. Oh. Combat time. Let's switch to hammer once again. Okay. That's not too bad. Get rid of that guy, and then probably just use deflections to get rid of this. Yeah. Okay. Not too bad. really, we're so powered up at this point that combat has not really become as much of a threat in recent memory. This looks like it's a point that's definitely reachable with the light burst. Energy harvest. Okay, looks like this is going to be the starting gate of another timed challenge. What exactly, we don't know just yet, but... Oh, there's another deflection target. Whoops, that was not what I thought it was. That is a deflection. So, it's going to be fairly straightforward. And... yeah. Really just going to have a pleasant swim until we see some reason not to. These looks like pressures. I don't have the ability to burst through that yet. I do think that's a bit of a hard roadblock right now. So, we'll have to find some other way, at least until we... Oh, hey, here's our old friend. He seems to be much more pleased with the water quality. I'll probably shriek yet again. Okay, so he's just going to swim away and do what for us? I don't think he's broken open any critical passageways. So, oh, there is a point for attachment over there. So we'll just go for it. Now, what can we do from here? Yep, float over. More seeds are always welcome, but clearly there's something up top that we have not yet been able to approach. Really does seem like that's a bubble location here. We'll just have to think about that. Quite possibly I can use this projectile to move on upwards as well, but we had already reached that location, so not much to really worry about there. Anyway, swimming through the crushing points. Those crushing blocks, that's the roadblock we're dealing with right now, I think. These we can poke. This is going to be a breakable location. This guy is threatening. Nope, oops. Thought I could sneak in there, but couldn't quite swim that fast enough. Don't really need breath anymore, which is nice. Okay, so this guy... Okay, we can get out. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky to go around those sometimes, given the bit of a rotational delay when you try to swap directions. So, this will probably take a little bit of rethinking as we try to go around. That looks like this is going to be a projectile. Great. Great, that we can do. And that too. It's going to give me a map.
Nanush. Elite Joton. Jin Jeno. Ah, Inajuko. Ajna.
Yeah. Not too much of an impact from the discount, but we'll take it once again. Okay. Pretty straightforward zone, actually. We are missing one explorable location down here. Also didn't break the floor down here. But we should be able to break through. Good. And yeah, it looks like we'll go down and to the right. Just to do a bit of secret hunting. Or had I seen this? I thought I had looked at it. No, I hadn't. Okay, so we'll... Yeah, actually no, it's some kind of underwater dash that we're missing. An underwater dash that allows us to go through the crushing blocks and also take out locations like this, unless I'm just meant to continue draining. And yeah, Merlin, go ahead and lurk. It's always nice to have a stream on, I think, when you're also just doing level building. It's a nice background thing to do, so no objections to that whatsoever. Ultra Bash. Okay. That might be helpful, but yeah, given how often I use that for some of the larger fights. Okay. That's how we break through. Alright. At this point, looks like we should be using the feather, perhaps. Let's see what we can do. Whoa, okay, that's a little more thrilling than I expected. Top right location is what we're looking for right now. A long grapple. And yeah, this should be pretty easily doable, in fact. There we go. Okay, checking the shatter point over here. Didn't even think about breaking this location. I feel like I should be able to do so with this ability, even though previously I hadn't thought too much about it. However, much easier to just use Spirit Smash. There we go. Okay, let's wait it out. I know we had, of course, collected this previously, so not exactly the most efficient way of doing that. But yeah, we can check a lot of these remaining locations. I mean, after breaking this open, we might as well come down here, see what awaits us. Nothing. This looks mildly breakable, but we'll go down and see what we can do. I think it actually has to be broken. This location down here, otherwise... And that's fine, because we currently do have the ability to do so. Or do we? Nope. Okay, well, some way of smashing it does seem like it's the proper solution, but we'll see. Probably just the ability to swim against the current is what we need in order to make that work. Now let's check top side. Yeah, I see how this is going to work. You blow that over and then you use grapple to get across before the bubble is relevant. Okay. Blew that a little bit hard, but that is, I think, maybe the right idea. Unless there's another bubble that's unlockable. It's okay, we'll have to think about this. I really think that should be the solution. Okay, let's try this again. Just that it goes so far to the right and pops. And I don't know if there's a way to do a lighter stroke here. Just give it a small push rather than a gigantic one. Oh, that is actually the right idea. A giant power drill to stand in Merlin. Yeah, looking forward to it. Well, we'll see how you implement that. That does sound pretty intriguing if that's some new mechanical concept you're playing with. Always look forward to things like that that are a little bit out of the ordinary. Okay, so this location was blocked by the current. What about the other one? Oh right, this is blocked by the inability to swim past those blocks. In that case, let's just continue proceeding upwards to the rest of this zone. Seems to be the right idea. And yeah, lots of distance to cover. Okay. Yeah, having done the snow zone first really does allow me to shortcut a number of the mechanics.
Hukabaso. Ayok tangelo.
Okay. Seems like we already met what he's talking about, but sure, we'll take this well. Hadn't been to this point previously, I don't think so. Had we? Yeah, we had. Okay, grapple up. And, okay, here's a fissure. Nope, I don't have string or net. I don't know if that's going to be a requirement here. I don't think so, though. We do have some traversal powers to work with. Okay. Looks like I should have saved the enemy for a deflection over to that top right location. However, this should give me some kind of projectile, I think. Projectile? Projectile? No? Guess not. That's okay, there should be some kind of respawn. And in any case, we have the ability to go upstairs. Now, looks like we do need to manipulate this somehow to clear a passage. Would have been nice to have a projectile through there, but we don't have it, so might as well see if we are missing anything else critical here. Not really, I just didn't check the location to the left. Okay. Right, because that's blocked. Now, if that's blocked from that side, we should go around and get up top here. Okay. Okay, this location we've been to previously. Right, because we went down here instead of up. This is the starting point for races. And we should go further. Assuming we can, of course. Don't know what it was that gated us off earlier, apart from... Let's see. Oh, I think it just fell, didn't I? Yeah, it needs some kind of bubble to come up. Ideally. Like this guy here. That's okay. Oh, interesting. That's it's not sending bubbles all the way up. Maybe I do need to deflect a projectile against it to get it to open. Let's try it. Nope. Okay. Ah, yeah, there we go. That opens it up. And having the balloons will definitely be an asset. Oh, I could have ridden that too. Okay, we'll wait for the next round. Oh, whoops, missed. I think I just need to ride that out some more. Possible. Until we get all the way up. Whoops, nope. Would be nice not to miss. Okay, let's just get a better position. We just need to ride a few of these up until I have enough room to get over to that wall climb. Maybe. I don't know if that's actually lifting me any higher. Maybe not. Okay, well, clearly that's the obstacle right now, getting up onto that location. I think I know roughly what I should do with that, in fact. hang out here until we get the advantage of the next bubble. There we go. Yeah, it looks like once again we need to bust that open in order to get bubbles going. The way to do that will be through using this guy. Okay. Not strictly necessary, actually. And once again, just given the fullness of our current movement set. Yeah, I can just shortcut a couple of things from having done the game in the order that we have. Interesting. Oh, whoops. Wasn't really watching the level geometry there. Otherwise I would have seen the danger zone. Looks like a point here for the feather to do its job. Ah, interesting. Nope, doesn't do anything. Okay, might as well ride it out. Probably I'm just going through this segment a bit sooner than I need, but nope, kept getting slammed. Oh, right idea, just very poor execution when it came to the activation of that switch, and moreover the survival afterwards, which I think I did underestimate. Oh, whoops. Okay, we got a switch. That's going to open something. Left side past the bubbles. We'll see what that's all about. I wonder if it's anything up top here. Nope. Oh, whoops. Didn't expect to get sniped like that. Yeah, that's already been pressed. Okay. Yeah, quite a few more gates that we haven't really been playing with. That's just a bonus, of course. Okay. Seem to have done something to the water level. Wonder if we can shoot that. Nope, doesn't seem like I need to touch it. Oh, no, I can't touch that. I can only wait for spawns. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Nope. Let's try it again. Nope. Didn't expect that sudden burst in homing speed. Okay. check this location. Very astute. Oops. Yeah, I didn't expect the follow-up like that. Nope. Yeah, pretty obviously what I'm supposed to do, just get up that spot and touch it. Nope. You know what? Don't need that. Okay. Right, now we hit that. Or is that the target I want? Almost looks like this is the target I want. So we can keep going on the up and up, but... Ah, look at that. That's a spot. Spot not yet unlocked, did I? Oh no, we've done it. Okay, let's see how we're doing. Covered that whole location. Oh, I see. It's actually the left side here that we need. Okay, that's fine. That's not hard, actually. We just run around and cover the remaining keystones. Yeah, right side. 10 was the cost of the most expensive improvement we've seen available thus far, so that is definitely one to keep in mind. Okay, pick up some cash. And we'll do the keystone quest here. Next one, down and to the left. Let's check the top location here first, just to see what we are dealing with there. Yeah, that's just a key. Ah, yes, that's the endpoint for the speed challenge. Okay. Yeah, activate. Okay, we'll eventually do that. Don't know if we'll do that right this moment, given that I'm just trying to traverse the area. Yeah, it looks like we have a starting point where? I feel like I discovered it. Oh, probably this guy. Yeah, pretty elaborate. Maybe not what I want to play with yet. It's the keystone door. Strongly suggesting that I should go down here. Okay. Yep, need to guide a projectile for sure. See if I can bust that location. No, but I can grab the keystone for sure. I should have used it for traversal, not for offense. Whoops, a bit late. Keep forgetting about the slight burst of speed at the end of the trajectory. Okay, there we go. That should be everything we need. Okay. Now, let's see what we have here. Do you want to get up to the keystone door, of course? That should be the primary objective here. Okay, it looks like we have a new ability that will now be unlocked. Likely something to do with swimming quickly in water, I would be guessing. Swim dash. Okay. It's actually going to look very much like the burrow ability, in fact, even the same controls. But we are going to get a huge burst of height out of the water. Yeah. Very nice. Actually works in as an attack power as well, which will allow me to head up using the bubble. Okay, nothing to do here until we perhaps hit a lever somewhere. Anyway, swim dash does allow me to get through some of these segments that I couldn't previously, and it is fast. Mechanically feels very much like the burrow dash, but yeah, you get tons of height, tons of speed. Feels pretty good all around. Likely necessary for the time to speed challenge that we've been given. Also necessary to get out. Yeah. I wonder if I have anything on the left side here that I can work with. Likely I'll need to, oh yes, unlock this. There we go. And yeah, Merlin, I don't know if it reminds me of that so much, but I know what you mean when it comes to the really lovely piano introduction to City of Tears. The first time you see it, it's incredibly memorable as an area. But yeah, a big part of it, I think, is just the openness of these spaces. Whoops, taking too much damage there. Definitely a crowd favorite. And welcome, Lock Cole. What you heard before this theme, I see, okay. It is a very lovely location. And so yeah, Lock Cole, this is my first time playing this game, so all this music is definitely new material to me. I need to blow this using a bubble, probably. Using a feather, rather. Get it slightly out of position, and work my way up to it. Okay, no, that's good actually, because it gets stuck in this location. That is the solution. And it looks like that's just going to be a swim dash location afterwards. Oops. Keep thinking I can bash through those. That's not going to be the case. Let's do that. Yep, going to blow that over with a feather. And yeah, that should have been a pretty informative environmental clue there. Anyway, that'll do the trick. Your favorite looking place? Yeah, I don't know if I could pick a favorite yet. There's just so much in this environment. I have a whole zone that I haven't seen yet too after this, I think. Because the snow zone and the Luma pools are just 2 out of 3 pieces of the puzzle. Yes, I need to hit some kind of switch here. This looks really breakable. But I have unlocked the map already, and so that's not really telling me anything. Could be that I need access to this from the right. In any case, let's maybe move forward to locations that were further and only formerly accessible, well, formerly inaccessible because I didn't have the swim speed to make it past the crushers. How's the game hold up with background 2D platformers? I really enjoy it. I think I had a few minor issues with Blind Forest back when I played it, and that sometimes the platforming seemed to conflict a bit with the Metroid-style character progression, and also because some of the things, like the chase sequences, could feel a little bit blind in terms of figuring out what to do. I do not have that problem with this second game, Will of the Wisps. I feel like things like the chase sequences in particular are much, much improved in terms of the sense of fairness and just the visibility of things that allow you to see very clearly that when you make mistakes, they are your own fault. So that's been very satisfying so far, just to see all these minor things that have been cleaned up about this game, and also just a tremendous inspiration from Hollow Knight, of course. This was immediately noticeable in terms of how they rethought the character customization and moveset and everything. In some ways, it's the first post-Hollow Knight game that I've played, in that the inspiration is really quite obvious. What was I doing? Ah, yes. I want to go down to the left. Right, that was blocked off. Okay, let's take the lower passage and loop around. Unless I could break through, I feel like there's something obvious that I just didn't try. And yeah, I've been very happy with this so far. Just a really substantial experience all around. Can I break that with a projectile? Let's just check that briefly once. Nope. Okay, let's go around. Judging by the map flow, I expected to go around anyway, in the first place. Past the gate. That was a bit of a dashing check, this thing here. There we go. Now we are in new territory. Yeah. Yeah, with Blind Forest, it wasn't even necessarily that it felt difficult, it's just that, you know, it wasn't so much the failure itself, but the way you fail, and the way that, you know, you would sometimes fail to just not being able to process visual information very reliably. It definitely made me wonder if, you know, the Metroid format really works well with platforming that is so dependent on instant killing, because often I find that the whole point of having character progression that builds up health and energy, etc., is that you want to feel like you have a safety buffer. But I found that kind of conflict in design to be much less present this time around. As I was saying earlier in the stream, I really feel like the Ori games in many ways feel like they are Metroid games designed by people whose favorite thing about Metroid are things like the Mother Brain escape. And something is wrong with our Toad. Okay. Okay, but something is not right. Seems like we have to purify him once again. And yeah, lock coal if you enjoy this game. Hollow Knight is well worth your time. Especially with a sequel coming soon enough. So. Oh, there we go. Shriek is bad by the looks of it. Yeah, let's go. Well, here we go. Escape sequence. Forgot to. Yeah, I saw that node as an attachment point and I just missed it completely. But the important thing is I saw it. It's just that. Let's maybe try to be a bit attentive here, but. Whoops. Yeah, you do have to go under. There's going to be some swim dashing after this. Whoops. Yeah, compared to the first game, I feel like this one does some of the light elements of non-linearity better too, in terms of, you know, feeling like it's more responsive to having done things in your own order, mostly. I mean, I actually approached the final zone first, and of course, couldn't do anything with that just yet. Okay, just a bit more accuracy in the swim dash, and feels like that's the main thing I need to work on here. Whoops. Really quick respawns, of course, just to get you back into the action. Yeah, sometimes getting ahead of the terrain destruction can throw you off slightly. There we go. Whoops, didn't see that coming. Yeah, just too much damage all around. Yeah. This escape has felt a little bit rougher than the other ones in terms of just outpacing the camera sometimes, I think. Not being able to see quite clearly where I'm going. But a lot of it is because there's just so much dynamic terrain manipulation all over the place. That's okay, you just have to learn it. Sequences like these, you know, when you have little surprises like that to deal with. So one bad dash can really put you behind. When your aim is just not very good. Okay. Yeah, I had to wait for the platform to come down. It's kind of like I was going a little bit too fast for what the level could give me visually. But, yeah, let's just keep going. Okay, boss time. Okay, a bit of health there. Now, I do have some ranged weaponry to work with. Let's see if Light Burst is going to do anything. Okay. I'll run out of energy if I spam that too much, though, so let's maybe go for Spirit Smash. Okay, pretty good energy replenishment there, though, so we can always, of course, just go for ranged attacks. Deflections are very good. Whoops. Okay, Just run around. Okay. Oops. Replenish. Always love enemy projectiles in this game. They just give you so much flexibility all of a sudden. Okay, swim, swim, swim. Okay. Do I get to deflect anything? Whoops. Issue, of course, with only being in the water is that I don't have a good healing point. Can't heal from inside the water. So, figure out what to do. I can probably just go for deflections as well as the ranged attack. And even a melee attack, in fact, just boost. Yeah, just boost and smack him. Yeah, main thing is just being managing the fact that I can't heal. Okay. So that's becoming a bit of an issue. I'm taking a ton of damage now. Got a bit of energy there, but I do need health. Yeah. Maybe a bit too close quarter with this approach. Whoops. Oh, got smacked. Okay, that's fine. Start over. It's okay, we'll... Yeah, we just need to be cleaner about the water phase, given that I was pretty much at full health going into that. It's just that since you can't heal, you do have to be so careful. Okay. Oops. Oh, oops. Missing way too many deflections there. Okay. Might as well grab some energy. Maybe there was a health replenishment point that I just wasn't seeing in that segment. Okay. A bit low on health going into this area here. Nope. Should have gone... Ah, these give me deflection. Actually, yeah, deflecting with these is probably the best way to go about it. Not the dark ones, of course. Oh, did not expect that. Okay. Ah, okay. No, you cannot actually touch the surface during that phase. Okay. So yeah, just a bit of pattern reading that we haven't really been doing much of yet. We really have to be somewhat attentive to the artwork, and visually there's a lot going on with the character models sometimes. Anyway, I should get back to range strategy as well as getting as many deflections as I can when that becomes relevant. There we go. Oh, no, too late. There we go. Really a risk and reward mechanic. Just the entire bash interaction. Okay, there we go. Oh, whoops. Don't touch that. Yeah, should have been clear from the artwork, in fact, that I was not to touch the surface during that phase. I think that should have been more obvious to me. Yeah, avoiding damage will be the main thing here, really. Avoid damage. I think I'm actually in decent shape. What did I say about avoiding damage? Deflections do a ton of damage to him when that becomes relevant. Okay. Yeah, a bit low on health. There we go. Yeah, 3 points of health. Getting a little bit risky here. But okay. Let's just survive this phase and a couple more hits should do it. Let's go for boomerang, actually. Given how much that does. Yeah, that does a ton of damage, actually. Let's go for that. That should be it. Right there. Yeah. Should have just gone for the boomerang strategy to begin with, given just how much it does against large targets. That continuous damage while it is still spinning. Anyway, I hope we actually get our friend Quallock back in one piece after that kind of encounter with him in a deep state of corruption. Okay. Alright, our friend has subdued the enemy there, and okay, give him a good smacking. Excellent. Looks like he is kind of spent, unfortunately, having used the last of his strength to subdue the poisoner. Poor fellow. Well, we had a good run, Quallock and I. Yeah, this is a very wistful game in so many ways. Just a very solemn mood throughout the whole thing, as you just try to resist the decay of nature. and just all the, you know, inevitable loss that happens along the way. But maybe in the end we'll save our friend the owl, so who knows, maybe we'll recover something from all this sorrow. But I guess we'll make our way back and see what we can do from here. Now, I am likely going to be concluding with this stream fairly soon, since I've just finished a major segment. We, of course, did the snow zone as well today. Seems like we've been progressing fairly nicely in that we just have the dark area as the major area that has been left unexplored, and of course, just a lot we can do in terms of 100% mop-up if we eventually are interested in doing that. I usually do 100% before I finish up these games, but I don't know how close we'll be. So, can I get past here quickly enough? Nope. Just a very poor swimmer. Yeah, I think in many ways the beauty of all the environments really underscores what is being lost when you know, have that sense of loss from things passing from the world. It's just a scene just now, for example, just works as well as it does because the toad is just such a majestic figure to begin with. Okay. That seemed optional, but we did it. And so what can we do here? Yeah. I guess we bypassed a lot of this since it was just part of the escape. Now we are properly inspecting it for the first time. So let's just have a bit of a run here to see what this area is all about. More sand. Oh. Looks like there's quite a bit here that's just... Oh no, I've gotten that already, that's why. I've been here. Anyway, let me just take a look at how we're doing. Yeah, did the full loop here. I didn't check this area, but there's also the race from the start to the finish of this segment, which I'm sure will involve a much better swim dash technique than what we have been showing off so far. One wisp remains unfound, and that's the one in the dark zone, which we'll see, may or may not be the one that is in the cave. I mean, this is a zone that we haven't been able to traverse because we haven't seen through the darkness, but we'll just have to inspect the map, I think, and see what awaits us next. Ah yes, a wisp lies trapped in the darkness of Moldwood and Depths. So that's going to be the location we're looking for. And yeah, that's likely to be the main thrust of what we do in the next segment. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And percentage-wise... yeah, we've actually made a decent amount of progress this game. I should look at the precise statistics from the stats guy in town, but for the time being, I think we're actually doing alright. Still have to find some other challenges out in the wild. Now, lots of energy and life containers still missing, in fact, but only one remaining combat challenge. And so yeah, really looking forward to that area. I think, however, for this stream, this is kind of a natural place to stop, so Merlin and Loch Cole, thank you so much for just hanging out and enjoying this with me. We'll be continuing this probably in 2 days. So that's going to be Thursday night to Friday morning, depending on whether you're in NA or EU, so Friday morning EU, I guess. That's likely what the continuation will be. And in the meantime, I'll probably just thank you for the follow, first of all. And yeah, we mainly cover Mario Maker over the weekends. We've occasionally been branching out to other platforming games like this, as well as some strategy games. Lately, some competitive level Scrabble during some of my club nights with tournament level players. But yeah, the main thing we do here is Mario and other 2D platformers, and so there will be hopefully much more content like this to come. In the meantime, I don't know if I'm going to be searching for a raid necessarily, since it's just the two of you here, but I might scan around briefly. Either way, thanks very much for watching. We'll be sending you off from here, and I guess we're kind of fairly close to closing out the adventure, but I certainly think 100% will be something well worth pursuing. So thank you once again, and good night, good morning, wherever you are, and fare thee well.